made his own money, and he's just
okay. All right. And one of the reasons, like when you had hit my line and you said, let's have a conversation. One thing I don't consider to be manly are the behaviors that the blue-haired booty bandit engages in. So I wouldn't even use the term man to describe him. I would use the term male, for he was born a male, but he doesn't engage in a man's behavior. This doesn't mean that I would have any hatred toward him or I would try to hurt him simply because of what he does behind closed doors. But what I would do is I try to marginalize him so that he doesn't have any influence. One thing I would never do is aggrandize or compliment that filthy way of life. And it sounds as though you complimentary as hell. He's a man of his word and all this stuff. What motivated that?
So I was entering into this dialogue from a professional, cordial stance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was trying to be professional.
The funny thing to me is that, Molestany's female who wasn't in the YouTube business, right? Like Molestany was the gamer, Twitch streamer guy. And then this broad is basically leveraging him to get her own fame, right? Yeah. So at some point, she could just like stop dealing with him, and she still has her own following that she developed off of his foundation of work.
He's not like a slave to the system. He has his own things, and that you guys have to learn to like be okay with encountering people in life who don't agree with the way you live. And I think like,
okay, so yeah, it sounds like you're an apologist for homosexuals right there.
It's pretty obvious. Like you're clearly, if we were to categorize it like a high value man, like objectively speaking, I mean, just
bruh, come on, man.
So here's what I'm thinking, right? So he makes his own money. He fucks a lot of girls. He works for himself. You know what I mean?
A lot of dudes.
Like I said, I came there trying to make a bridge. He collabed with Sneeko, and then he started attacking Sneeko. He collabs with people, and then when he's done collabing, he has this marketing team behind him that attacks you.
Gotcha.
Deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman. So
and you think you're normal?
Wow. Shorty done jumped in the conversation so quick, they ain't even have time to hit the video switcher to turn the camera to this broad. You think you're normal? That's called an insult right there. It's in the form of a question, but it's really a statement. What's her statement? Her statement is, you ain't SHIT. You ain't nothing, little buddy. That's her statement. But she formulated it as a question, which means you now have an opportunity to respond. Basically, what just happened is that I was responding to when she basically came.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about what that adds up to.
Not a good look, bro. No, somebody says you and Saint are happy. I don't even know who this guy was. Somebody sent.
Is your story that you had never heard of me up until you got that super chat?
So what happened was somebody sent me the live stream of when you were live. I don't know if you were live or whatever, but it was the live stream of you, and then that was the first time I ever like seen your channel, seen who you are.
So I just want to confirm, your story is that up until that super chat, you had never seen me or heard of me.
No, no. And then after that, I mean, somebody told me you did some crypto stuff, and then somebody told me you.
Let's talk about that, because that's funny.
I don't even know who that guy is. I heard he was associated with some fucking gigantic crypto scam. So that's
okay. So let's talk about that. I find it strange that you would say you don't know who I am, but you would say I'm associated with a gigantic crypto scam. Mm-hmm. What crypto scam would that be?
So I have a live chat where Federico and I were in, right? And one of the guys in there, I put the screenshot of the same screenshot that I sent you, where you can see the super chat being donated.
Give me the summary. Give me the summary of where you. I'll tell you another thing that's comical about it. You know how much he said the rug pull was for?
No.
You don't know? Oh, so you mentioned, you basically accused me of something, but you don't even know how much. You don't know anything about it, though.
Correct.
Okay. So the rug pull was supposed to be for $2,000. $2,000. My sneakers are $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much of an astronomical waste of time it would be? I find it disheartening in as much as you're suing a couple people right now, I hear, according to your stream, right? Okay. presumably for slander or libel or something like this?
Defamation.
Defamation, kind of in the same category, right?
I don't know. I'm just assuming for
defamation is when you defame someone, which would be to make them look bad, presumably, right? With things that are not true. Would that be about accurate?
Okay.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, my lawyer's handling this, so I don't know.
Okay.
But just that's what we're
You
suing.
don't know what defamation is?
Well, just like when you're saying something to make someone look bad, right?
Yeah, something that's defamatory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Defamatory. Let me see. Defamation. I'll look it up for the both of us since we're both goofy. I'll look it up. Defamation. I'm just going to get the definition here. It reads, the act of damaging the good reputation of someone, slander or libel. You might recall I used the term libel just seconds ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that being the case, you're suing multiple people for defamation, which would include slander and libel.
Right.
Which is to say they've made up things about you, presumably that are not true, right?
Correct.
So then you go on your stream and you say something about me that is definitely and clearly not true.
Okay. So there was no rug pull?
Number one, there was absolutely no rug pull. Number two, you sound like a fool to even ask me that question.
I'm just asking you. I mean, you sound like
a fool to even ask the question.
Okay, listen.
I've been winning for a long time. You see, you can use. All right, let's see what else you said about me.
You can say it to my face too. Then you call the police.
Ah, there we go. You said, would I say that to you in person in front of your face? You wouldn't do a damn thing in real life.
You think you think that's being a good role model to men, saying you're going to spit in my face?
Don't play that right now. Don't play that with me right now.
You think
you were saying, would I say that to your face?
I called you right now.
Don't change personality.
Make a peaceful conversation, brother.
No. Your personality was just now, would he say that to my face?
Okay.
This was you. Listen.
You're saying like, I don't have frame. I'm not my masculine, whatever. I'm like, all right, bro.
I wouldn't tell you this to your face. Do you really believe that?
At the time, I didn't know who you were.
The question is, would I say that to your face?
Yes.
Yes. And you know what? Just like P. Diddy said, you would take that. And let me tell you something else. I saw some footage of a guy walking behind you, filming you, and your mom was there, and you were like, hey, man, stop filming me. Yeah, I saw that footage. If my mother was there, she would have stepped aside and said, beat his ass.
Bro, I
would never let anybody disrespect me in front of my mother. My mother wouldn't let anybody disrespect me in front of her. Well, I did watch the video, which was on your channel, and it looked like you were there with your mom, and it looks like you were retreating away from him. That's what it looked like. And what I'm telling you, the reason he pulled that on you is because you're weak.
You're putting yourself as some like intellectual superior person to me. So you're saying
you went to Central Florida University.
No. We're talking about the context of the conversation right now. You said that because this guy, I pushed this guy. Let me ask you something. If I pushed you to the floor, would you stand up and start recording me? Listen, would you start? Right, but if I did, would you stand up and start recording me with the phone and say, "Somebody call the police"? Somebody call the police? Because that's what that guy did.
Listen, we don't have that.
That's what he did. Answer my question. If I push you to the floor, would you call the police?
All we have on footage is you retreating.
You were with
your mother and you got disrespected.
Yes, it does. No. You're backing off now. You're backing off because you're wrong. You're backing off because you're wrong, and you're banning people in the chat who are calling you out.
You were scared, and you're making excuses. That's all.
I was not scared at all. Why would I be scared?
You just said that you were scared to go to jail.
Yes.
Then you didn't do anything, so you were scared.
The whole thing about you being the whole cuck thing, where you went to a swingers club, your girlfriend slept with somebody in front of you, and people.
I did a couple swap, and I hated it, and we stopped. And I said on the podcast, it was traumatizing. I hated doing it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean.
So the thing is this, right? You made a mistake. Did you forgive yourself?
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, that was cute. This man said, "You made a mistake. Did you forgive yourself?" Okay, you're a scared guy who called me because you were scared, and you were right to be scared.
Listen, I'm not scared. What are you gonna do? You're gonna hunt me down and kill me?
Because the whole conversation, it was reasonable, wasn't it? Up
No,
until that
this
point, we
started
started
because you
dating.
started talking about me in a bad way.
I started pointing out accurate observations of the fact that you're not who you pretend to be. You're a sheep in wolf's clothing.
No, I'm not. Because
Yes,
you're not
a
you're not
sheep in
smart enough
wolf's
to even
clothing.
think the truth of what I
You're
said.
a sheep in wolf's clothing.
You said I walked off of valuetainment and frustration.
Listen, you
Yes or
were
no?
there getting flamed by 4 girls, and you couldn't
So you're
contain
Mr.
yourself.
Smart
You
IQ. I
looked
went to all these
you
universities,
were
right? You're
self-comforting.
so secure
You
in
were
yourself. You keep
embarrassed.
on saying these
The
things.
entire internet made a number of
You're so
videos about
smart,
you looking
Why
bad.
didn't you pick up the context of why I left? If you're so smart.
You were
Okay, you can
embarrassed
dodge the
the
question if you want
whole
to, but if
time.
you're so smart, why didn't you pick up on it?
You were embarrassed the whole time.
If you're so smart,
Why
you didn't pick
did-
up on that?
Why did the internet make a number of videos about you getting flamed?
Okay,
If you
because
can
it was
give
out of
why did you
context.